welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are going to be talking about my 5-star ratings and most anticipated books of the year because I only have about 4 or 5 of them, so I didn't want to put them in a separate video. I just would put them all into my 5-star ratings. So here we go. I have like a whole, I literally went through my whole planner and wrote down each book on each rating and how I rated it, and I have so many books to talk about, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible so I'm not dragging on and on and on about talking about these books, because I have plenty of videos that probably have been talked about with these books. So I am going to just run through my list of books and maybe chit chat about a few of them a little longer, but that's pretty much the thing of how I'm going to go about this. And I also wanted to say, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because I am so excited to start a brand new year of YouTube with everyone and read more books this year and be involved in a bunch of readathons and reading challenges and all the different things. So let's go ahead and get started on our 5-star reads. I also have I pulled all the books that I have physical copies of, and then the rest of them that I don't have a copy of, I'll just pop up the picture beside me to its moment of glory, if you will. Okay, so in no particular order, this is literally just like when I went through all of how I read them. Okay, so this one is not, it's kind of a weird book title, but if you know the book, you know what I'm talking about. It's a weird book title for me to say because I don't agree with the title in my personal life, but I understand why she made the title this. But it was basically, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That was a 5-star read for me. It was so good. It took me a while to read it because I slowly read through it, but I did really enjoy it, and I gave it 5 stars. And then the next one is The Mystery of Hollow Inn. I actually just read this in December, and I got into a really bad reading slump in November. Like after the first week of November, I just could not get myself to read anymore. I was not in the mood, and then December hit, and I was like, okay, I have 7 books left to hit my 100 goal, and I did hit my 100 goal this year, but I just read that book recently, so it was very good. I really enjoyed it. My next 2 books I can show together because they're a series. It's Absolutely Truly and Yours Truly. These books are so good. I did actually DNF it the first time I read it, and then I picked it back up again, and I was like, why did I do that? Because this is literally one of my favorite series ever now. And then I also have over in my, this is a sneak peek into my January TBR, but Really Truly, which is the 3rd book of the series, I didn't get to it in 2022 like I wanted to, so I'm actually going to be reading it in January, so there's your sneak peek of part of my January TBR. Also, I found out for anticipated releases, there is a 4th and final book coming out in August of this coming year, and so that is one of my anticipated releases. I forgot what it's called. It's like a haunted farm theme, I think, and but I did look it up to see if there was another one coming out, and there is, so I'm excited for that. I have Daybreak on Raven Island, which was one of my favorites. I loved the concept of it being on like an island like Alcatraz, and it was set in and it was like very spooky. There was a mystery to it. It was the 2nd book from the same author that wrote Midnight at Barclay Hotel, and those books are just some of my favorites. I love them. That's also one of them on my 5-star read. And then I also have the Hocus Pocus illustrated version. Obviously, if you know me, this is going to be a 5-star read for me. I also really enjoyed that you got to know a little bit more into like the characters' backgrounds, and like from you get to hear more about how Max was before he moved to Salem, and like his friends and everything, and you got to know more about Emily before she gets captured by the witches. You get to know a lot more detail than you do in the actual movie, so I thought that was really cool reading this. This next one was Disappearing House. This was a very good read on like childhood cancer or any type of trauma that you've gone through, I would recommend reading it because it really helps to like open up the feelings that you have and like being able to work through your traumas or your fears or whatever you have going on. It is a very good mental health related type book, and it's also middle grade, which is really cool. Like young kids can understand it in a way that's easier for them to understand at that age. And then my next one is obviously Verity. That's my first ever Colleen Hoover book. I also have a couple more that I've shown in a previous video that I still haven't gotten to that will be on my TBR soon. And I am very excited to dive into more of her books this year. The next one I had was Ghost Girl, which is actually the first book. This is in a series, but it was the first book by the same author of this book. And that one, when I read that book, I was like, okay, I have to start I have to start buying like every one of her books because her writing is just so well done. And then the next one, I've already talked about it, but it was Midnight at Barclay Hotel. And then Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch both got 5 stars from me. This is a cute little graphic novel series. I read the whole series of The Girls Who Code, and this series was so well written. Every single book followed a different girl in their friend group, and they all had different like struggles they were going through, and it was just so well written. I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. And then the next one that I gave 5 stars was Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. This book was so good, and it was so fun to finally finish Gilmore Girls so I could read this because I did not want to get spoiled by anything. And I have been waiting to read this for literally years, and I finally got to read it because I finally finished Gilmore Girls. And then we had the Whispering Pines series, 1 and 2. The first 2 books of Whispering Pines got 5 stars from me. And then we have the second book of the Inheritance Games, which is the Hawthorne Legacy. This book I gave 5 stars because it had a better storyline to it, and you got to know way more information than you did the first book. So this one got 5 stars for me. I'm not going to take it out of this box because I don't want to have to try to get them back in the box. But The Summer I Turned Pretty, books 2 and 3. So It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer both got 5 stars from me. And you'll have to find out what I thought of the first book. But Not Special by Megan Rinks got 5 stars. I have actually read this book before. I think either once, I think maybe 2 times, and this was like my 3rd time reading it. And it was just a fun, good read, and interesting to hear like the backstory of, I love reading like YouTubers books because you get to know so much more about their life than what they actually share on YouTube. So it's really fun to read these types of books. I didn't bring the second one out here because I have so many books out in my living room right now that I just only wanted to bring one of the series if it was, together. But the Gilded Girl and The Tarnished Garden, which is book 2 of this series, both got 5 stars for me. I love this series so much, and I'm hoping that there is more to the series because it is such a cute book series, and also I really enjoy the way the author writes. So I am most likely going to be buying all of her books when she has them come out. And then the next one I had was the 13 Witches series, both 1 and 2. The second one, I have a friend borrowing it right now, so I only have this one at the moment. But the third one is also coming out this year, and that is one that I'm like very excited to read. So that's another anticipated release for me. And then also there's another one that I'm going to be reading in January that I will spoil for you. But another anticipated release is the Truly Devious series, the 5th book of it, called 9 Liars. I am very excited to read that book. And one other one that I can remember is the next one of the Inheritance Games. It's like the Hawthorne Brothers or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but that's another anticipated release as well. The Book Wanderers, Pages & Co. Books 1 through 3 are all 5 stars for me. And that's another one that I'm excited for. That's the one that I was thinking of, is the 5th book of the Book Wanderer series comes out, I think, around my birthday, so that'll probably be a little birthday gift for myself. And then the next one I have is The Weekend Away, which was a book and then it got turned into a Netflix movie. And then we have Recipes for Disaster, which, going back to the Girls Who Code, there was a book that this author wrote before this one called Emmy and the Key of Code, or In the Key of Code or something like that, and I did not really like that book, and you'll see what I rated it this year. But when I found out about that book, that's how I found out about the Girls Who Code and read those books and really enjoyed them. But this is another one that I really enjoyed. I actually made a whole vlog about it, and I baked some good little treats with it, and I just really, really liked the way that she wrote this book. It was so fast-paced and just very well written. I really enjoyed it. And then the next one that I have is the whole Girl Online series. I know that there was like a lot of controversy towards this series because it was like somewhat ghost written, supposedly. I don't really know, but I enjoyed this storyline. I really love Noah and Penny. They are some of my OTP like book couple. I just loved this series so much, and then I've read it multiple times, but it's just always one of the ones that I love to go back and reread just because it's so fun, and it just like makes me think of my childhood, so it just is like so just wholesome and great. And then the last 2 books that we have are the Magpie Society 2 for Joy. I actually want to reread this series sometime in the new year. I don't know when, maybe February or something. But I just love this series so much, and I just really, really enjoy the like mystery of it, and just like I'm sad that it didn't end up being 3 books like it was supposed to be, but you got all the information you needed in just 2 books, which is so nice. And I really, really enjoyed it. And my final 5-star read is Green Glass House. Ghost of Green Glass House, I'm sorry. This is the second one of the series. Ghost of Green Glass House is probably my favorite out of the whole series. And like, if you have not read the series, this time of year is the perfect time of year to pick this up because it's set in around Christmas time, winter time. There's a little boy that they live in a bed and breakfast, and it has a bunch of secrets within the house, and like the guests that show up have something to do with the house, and it is such a good mystery series. And there's like 4 or 5 books in the series, but it is such a good series. I would highly recommend it, obviously, because I put it as 5 stars. But anyways, that is all of the books that I have in my 5-star ratings, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if you're wanting to put them on your TBR, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!